All right, let's just get right into it with a few stories that might feel a little too close to home. We've all had that moment, the spectacular dating fail, the story you absolutely have to text your friends about immediately. But what if all these chaotic, kind of hilarious moments are actually pointing to something much bigger, a hidden shift in how we connect?
I mean, just take Jasmine. A ramen spot sounds like a perfect, casual first date, right? Well, for her, it ended with a splash of hot miso broth straight to the eyeball. Her date, bless his heart, just laughed and grabbed a bunch of napkins. A real baptism by soup.
Or how about Sydney? She was so into the conversation at a bookstore cafe that she just walked right out the door with the book she hadn't paid for. Nothing says I'm a great catch like accidental shoplifting on a first date. These stories are funny for sure, but they also get at this huge question that I think we're all dealing with right now. Why does making new connections, whether it's love or just friendship, feel so hard, so full of potential disaster? And more importantly, is there some kind of hidden playbook, a secret social system that the people who are actually good at this are using? Well, yeah, there is. And trust me, it is not what you think. See, it turns out these little moments of personal chaos are part of a massive pattern. Researchers have a name for it, a loneliness epidemic. We are more disconnected than we've ever been. Some are even calling it a crisis of touch deprivation. And while that sounds like a huge downer, the solutions that are popping up are coming from some really unexpected places. So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we're going to look at the social glue that's basically vanished from our lives. Then, we'll get into the new rules of the wingman playbook. After that, we'll explore why the double date is making this huge comeback. And finally, we'll pull it all together with the big idea, the relational revolution. Okay, let's start at the very beginning of the problem. If you want to understand why connection is so hard, you have to get this one powerful idea. It's called the third place, and it's basically the invisible architecture of a healthy social life. So this term, it comes from a sociologist named Ray Oldenburg. And his whole thing was that we all need three types of places in our lives. You've got your home. That's your first place. You've got work, your second place. But the most important one for building a community, the one we're losing, that's the third place.
Think about it this way. Home and work, they're structured. They come with rules and obligations. But third places, they're the neutral ground. They're the coffee shops, the parks, the barber shops, the libraries, where you start to become a regular. They're like the living room of our society, where we can just exist together, build that low-stakes trust, and actually form a community. And here's the kicker. They're disappearing. And that loss is forcing us to get creative.
So if those public spots for connection are vanishing, where do we go? Well, we've started to lean on our personal relationships to fill that gap. And this brings us to the modern wingman, not as some tired old movie trope, but as a crucial piece of what you could actually call our social infrastructure. Okay, so the modern playbook basically breaks down into three key moves. First, you've got the hype man. You're there to tell a great story that makes your friend look awesome. Second, the 1-2 punch. You lead with a funny, relatable story, then follow up with a subtle compliment. And third, the super important distractor role. Your job is to keep their friends busy so your friend can actually have a one-on-one conversation. It's a real skill. Of course, even the best plans can go completely off the rails. I mean, look at these fails. You've got the guy who tried to look cool and mysterious but ended up with bright red vampire teeth from a free drink. Or the pumpkin patch mission that ended with an actual concussion. This stuff is not easy, which is exactly why people are searching for a better, safer way to do things.
And that difficulty, that very real need for a safety net, is driving the return of a total classic, but for completely new reasons. Let's talk about the double date.
Now get this, a recent survey found that 48%, that's nearly half, of Gen Z believe that double dates are a great way to ease dating anxiety. This isn't just people being nostalgic, it's a smart, strategic move in response to how high-pressure dating feels right now. And when you break down why it works, it makes perfect sense. It's just practical. It totally lowers the stakes, it's a safety net against catfishing or just someone with a weird vibe, and it creates a more comfortable, authentic space. Having a friend there lets you actually be yourself, and it helps you see what a potential partner is like in a real group setting. It's a safe and smart way to play the game. But this isn't just a defensive strategy, and this is the part almost nobody is talking about. The comeback of the double date is a huge clue. It's pointing to a much deeper, hidden shift in what we're all starting to want from intimacy itself. And that brings us to the final piece of the puzzle, the big idea that connects the disappearing third places, the strategic wingman, and the double date comeback. Welcome to what we're calling the Relational Revolution.
The core concept here is something called platonic intimacy. Now, this is not just a fancy word for being friends. Researchers define it as a deep connection that's non-sexual. It includes things like companionship, being emotionally vulnerable, even physical touch like hugging, all without any romantic strings attached. It's really just about closeness, full stop. And you can really see the difference here. Sexual intimacy, that's usually dyadic, meaning between two people, and it's private and exclusive. But look at platonic intimacy. It's communal, it's shared, and it's accessible to everyone in your circle. It's a totally different and, honestly, way more sustainable framework for connection.
And here's the aha moment. Platonic intimacy reframes closeness, not as some private prize you have to win from one person, but as a civic resource. It's something that we all have a shared responsibility to build together, for each other. Some researchers even call this a form of relational democracy. And if you're the kind of person who really cares about community, this idea changes the entire game. And this is the real takeaway. Once you stop seeing connection as this one-on-one battle and start seeing it as an infrastructure that we all build and maintain together, it completely changes how you see every single friendship, every casual acquaintance, every group chat you have. They're all part of the same important project. So how do you actually start doing this? Well, here's the simple, doable version. 1. Find a third place and just show up. Become a regular. Let people get used to seeing your face. 2. Make a conscious effort to be a great wingman. Be the hype man for your friends. And 3. Be the one to organize a low-pressure group hang. You're not just hanging out. You are literally building your own social infrastructure. But trust me, this whole revolution is just getting started. And the ways we're figuring out how to build these connections, well, they are starting to get really, really weird. I mean, just look at what's on the horizon. Get ready for the AI wingman, where people are literally using ChatGPT to write their opening lines on dating apps. And then there's something called choremance, the trend of turning boring chores like laundry or grocery shopping into a date. The focus is shifting from big, fancy events to just sharing real life together. It's getting pretty fascinating. So all of this brings us to one final, really important question. Who is your social infrastructure? Who's your hype man, your distractor? Who's that friend that makes it easier for you to connect with the world? This is your chance to be a hype man for them. Go ahead and share this with that friend and let them know they are a crucial part of your world.
If this touched your heart, please subscribe, like, and share it with your family. Save this for more meaningful content ahead.